You're listening to The Joe Cronin Show, a wrestling podcast with attitude.
So, first off, I got to say that I want to remind everybody that tonight is my Game of Thrones night. So, for all you people that are in a Game of Thrones, we will be live after Game of Thrones to do a little review of Game of Thrones. And then Sunday Night Gaming will take place after that. So, normally on Sundays, I do a little gaming stream here on the channel around 10 p.m. But tonight, it will just start a little bit later because we're going to do the Game of Thrones review. So, I invite you to call up. We're going to talk all about what's been going on here with Game of Thrones, this first episode back. That's going to be fun. And now I want to go into WWE. Oh, yeah, Corrupted Podcast was huge last night. What a good show. I had fun. Just FYI for the people that missed it. But, yeah, let's talk about this. We got wrestling stuff to talk about. Obviously, Road Dogg, you guys are aware of his situation. I don't want to get into it, really. I just feel like putting that up on the screen to have something on the screen. Because I went to go shopping today, and they're having a big strike at the shopping place nearby. So that kind of made me mad, and I'm hungry. But I want to go to the Patreon questions, guys. First, before I go to the Patreon questions, though, I just want to mention that, one thing we forgot about in all this is the fact that apparently we've heard this over and over again, and now that it's been like fully clarified that this went down a couple of years back, and years back, that Vince McMahon made it very clear to people that he never wanted another superstar to really get as big as Cena or Hulk Hogan or The Rock or something like that. So basically, Vince, went on to say he doesn't want to make superstars get that big. I just don't quite understand that rumor / report. Websites actually take it as 100% truthful, and maybe it is. I don't know. Like Dave Meltzer says it's true. WrestlingInc.com says it's true. All these people say that's true, that is what he really said. And that's what's really happening. But if that's the case, why did he push Roman Reigns to the end of the earth for almost no reason? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did he push Roman Reigns so much then if he's not trying to build a star like that? But then again, it makes sense with all the other people because it's almost like they are trying to not build stars. It's like they're trying to get a group of people to like one person and another group of people to like a different person. And if they can get a whole bunch of different groups to like a different person, then nobody will ever get too big for the company. Like, that makes sense. I get that. And it feels like they are doing that because it's like they sabotage everybody. So why else wouldn't they sabotage everybody? But why don't they sabotage Roman, or why didn't they? They never did that. For like 4 years, they did anything but. They did the opposite of sabotage Roman. So I just don't know if I believe that statement. That Vince wants to, doesn't want people to grow, beyond whatever. It seems ridiculous. But now I want to go to the Patreon questions on Patreon. And shout out to all the patrons who asked the questions. We will go through these and see what we got. So we got Mikey to Crikey. What do you think about a Pete Dunne versus Kofi feud for the WWE World title? Hey, listen, I'm into that. I mean, I would rather it be Kofi Kingston versus Pete Dunne for the Intercontinental Championship. That's what it should be. Kofi and Pete Dunne, Intercontinental belt, ladder match, something like that. I would really be into that. I don't think that that's going to happen. I highly doubt that that's going to happen. Yeah, I like the idea of that match. But right now, Kofi Kingston is the champion, and Pete Dunne is not classified at all like that. He's a United Kingdom champion. I think the next step for Pete Dunne is to arrive in NXT, not the UK. I think he's going to come to the regular NXT. That's what I believe is happening for Pete Dunne next. Like the idea, don't think it's going to happen. Mikey to Crikey, thank you for being a patron. Kevin Carter, if you had to pick one star from 205 Live, NXT, and NXT UK to be called up, who would it be? From 205 Live? Oh, wait, NXT and NXT UK? Well, you're saying all these other brands, too. I mean, I'd probably say Pete Dunne. Honestly, that's a bad question because I don't want any of those guys coming up. I don't want anybody from NXT coming up. Don't want it. Now, 205 Live, I want Mike Kanellis up. I want Mike and Maria to be awesome heels on the main roster. They're fit for the main roster. I don't understand why they're not on the main roster. That's garbage to me. But as far as NXT United Kingdom and NXT regular NXT, I want them to stay in NXT. I don't want anybody coming up. Don't want anybody coming up. I mean, who deserves to be promoted? You know, a lot of guys. I think they're going to keep Velveteen Dream longer than we all thought, too, it feels like. I thought he might come up. I thought he was coming up night after Mania. I was wrong. Feels like they're like, he needs a lot more work, you know, give it another year. That's what it feels like. Maybe I'll be wrong about that, too. I don't know. Kevin Carter, thanks. The Goon. What's up, Goon? Joe, do you remember a cartoon called Mucha Lucha? One of the three main protagonists was called Ricochet. I've always wondered if WWE Ricochet got his name from that. That's a good idea, maybe. He's had that name Ricochet for a long time now. It's very possible. That's interesting, The Goon. I didn't think about that. And I never saw that show. I did not know that was a show. Had no idea. Monday Nitro. How much of a dumbass does Ryan Satan look like now that Sasha rumors have been disproved with her latest Instagram post? You know, just because she took a photo with the Iconics and then posted it, you know, doesn't mean that they didn't complain backstage. But I do agree that the idea that Bayley and Sasha were laying on the floor, like crying out loud, like that did seem ridiculous to me. I mean, you would have to get some really concrete sources for that. I mean, I could see them laying on the floor and being like, "We're gonna lose these belts, huh? This is stupid." You know, like, I don't know, they were like trolling like that out loud. I just found a tax document that I don't know if I needed to file this or not, but I'm opening it right now to see. Yeah, it's for $20. Oh, whatever. Come get me. $20. Monday Nitro, thank you. Yeah, I think Ryan Satan, he gets a lot of things right. He gets a lot of things wrong. But in the end, Ryan Satan is kind of just a douchebag. I don't know. He's like a douchebag. He's a trolly little crybaby SJW type weasel. God, he's a sick person. I don't like him at all. I like Dave Meltzer, though, a lot better. You know, Ryan Satan is just a sick person. Zach Connor says, do you think the WWE is going to have a major change to the SmackDown after SummerSlam only because they're heading to Fox? I mean, Zach, you'd like to think that they would do something different. You'd like to think that WWE would do something special to launch on this new TV network. Yeah, I would think so. But then again, you never know with these guys at this point. Everything's been so lackluster. And even when they do try something, it never works. I mean, it's so hard to please people right now. And on top of that, they're doing a horrible job anyway. So you're really just fighting this uphill battle of horrible. Broken Lion says, do you think Roman will get his heat back? Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think Roman should have turned heel 2 years ago. 3 years ago. And now he's had the cancer thing, so now some people are afraid to boo him, and then other people are cheering him more, but not really. And basically, he's just sitting there. I mean, what a waste. A waste of I don't know what. A waste of the opportunity of the crowd. I can't stand Roman Reigns' promos. What's up, y'all? It's me, the big dog. Yeah, so we made it through. Yeah, big dog. The superstars suck nowadays. The anti-drama. With all the money WWE spends on top-notch talent from all over the world, why do we see the same wrestlers and same matches every week? That's a good point. Look at what happened with Aleister Black and Ricochet when they got brought up. It's like you need to do things like that. Bring people in and throw them out there. Just continuously throw people out there and see what happens. All right, Gargano and Ciampa didn't work out that well. The crowd didn't respond like Ricochet and Black. So, yeah, keep doing stuff like that. Bring on people who are fresh and see if the crowd decides to like them that night and there's something there. Then bring them back the next week and try it again. And if you're getting more positive, well, now you know you got something. Keep doing stuff like that. and write better storylines. Write less scripted dialogue. But again, if that thing is true about Vince McMahon never wanting another Cena, but that seems ridiculously stupid to me. That can't be real. It just can't be real. But I understand the idea of like not letting people slip away and being able to walk all over you. Darel Stultz. What's up, Darel? He's been a badass recently. Joe, if everything that's being reported about WWE is 100% fabricated bullshit, and WWE isn't afraid of AEW or the red-hot independent wrestling scene being any sort of competition threat to WWE, why doesn't Vince McMahon hold an all WWE paid employee talent meeting and grant anyone who's unhappy working for the WWE their release? Oh, because it's true. Darel, it is true. They're worried about AEW a little bit. They're bothered by it. They're not. I don't think they're worried like, oh my God, we're going to go out of business because of them. They're more annoyed by it. That's the thing, that they're annoyed by it. When you're annoyed by something like this, you say, you know what? Fine, if you quit, we're going to sign you for a contract and lock you in the contract. We're going to ruin your career. We're going to mess with you. We're going to sign talent for no reason just to hold them hostage. Like, all that stuff is stuff they're doing clearly because of AEW and because of whatever else. They're doing it. I mean, that's the answer. They are aware. I mean, that's the thing. You're right. I think that's the point you're trying to get at. That's why you asked me that. Yeah, you're right. They're worried. They're upset. But they're not worried like. It's the same thing when people do that about my show. I don't know why, but weird fucking people talk about like, oh, Joe's worried about this happening in his show and other shows and stuff like that. No, it's not really, but like I'm annoyed by certain things sometimes. It's the same thing, you know? Like I had a previous person that worked on my show, go somewhere. Like if somebody I was friends with who worked on my show went over to someone else's wrestling channel and said like that I sucked for some reason, I'm going to be annoyed. I'm not going to be like, oh no, the sky's falling, guys, and I might lose everything I have here. No, I was just more like, I'm annoyed, so you know what, that person's fired, or that person's never coming here again, and I'm going to make sure that everybody I know tries not to make sure they don't work with them, or at least knows, like, hey, you know what this guy did? This is what he did to me. And then people will go, oh, so you try, you have ways to like fight back against stupid stuff where people are going to try to hurt you, or people want to come after you. And AEW wants to do that. They're going to wear their T-shirts, tell people to do things at WWE shows. They hear the AEW chants last week. So WWE is going to be cautious and worry and do little things that make sense, that I don't even blame them for doing. I get what they're doing. They have to sort of protect themselves a little bit. But yeah, they're not like, oh God, they're going to put us out of business. None of that's being thought of at all. At this point, WWE is so powerful. I've said this a million times. WWE is so powerful, they're like MTV. Remember when MTV became so powerful, they hit a ceiling with music television, right? For the people that don't remember who are young, in the 80s, MTV was all music. Thus music television. Then in the 90s, they started developing other TV shows and things like that because they hit a ceiling with what they could do with music videos. But then they were like, ooh, people love our music discussions and our interviews and, like metal only and rap stuff only and this stuff only and that stuff. And then they started doing shows like cartoons like Beavis and Butthead, and they have little breaks where they watch music and underground stuff gets played. Like all kinds of stuff. Headbangers Ball, 120 minutes, like... and eventually they hit a ceiling, and then they were like, well, they did stuff like, Real World, Total Request Live, and slowly that got so popular that MTV swung into more of pop culture rather than the music, and the music kind of became secondary, and eventually MTV became what it is now, which is, I don't even know what MTV is now. It's like fucking, it should be called Pop Culture TV, not MTV, but they keep the name because it's worth something, but it makes no sense. Music television doesn't make any sense. So now they just call it MTV. So now the name MTV to you just means the letters MTV. That's the cool thing. I don't know why. But MTV means music television, and it's not that. It's like my first period, and daddy, like, I was raped by my grandfather or something, like, and they have all these weird shows, camping with ghosts, and just, I don't know what the fuck. I don't even watch it anymore, but they don't play music. And maybe they play like an hour of music on like 2 a.m. at some point just to sort of say, like, I don't know, and it's garbage anyway. It's stupid. But that's what WWE would do if it got so bad. Say the arenas couldn't fill up. There was like 3,000 people in the arenas on TV, and like everybody stopped watching, and it went down to like 400,000 viewers, like Impact Wrestling. WWE would probably just fold up and become a movie studio, you know? And I swear to God they would. And they would change their name. I swear to God this would happen. And they would change their name. They wouldn't be World Wrestling Entertainment. They would be Worldwide Entertainment or something like that. Like, seriously. I'm not joking. They would change to like Worldwide Entertainment, and they would produce films and TV shows maybe, but mostly probably films and entertainment. And, you know, maybe they would have a live show still, like the circus almost, where they would tour around like once a week. Wrestling would come to your town from WWE, but it wouldn't be televised. Raw wouldn't be on anymore. You know, like, it would, I swear to God, like, they could do that. Because, and yet they'd be killing it because they're making a ton of money on the network and all these other things. They'd probably have a TV show on the network or something weekly. It would just become this whole new thing. Like, there wouldn't be Raw every Monday anymore. And it just, I don't know. WWE is still lost. It's still a mess. I thought by now they would have figured it out. I really thought that when Vince said, you know, we're listening and we're all these things. Now, he thinks that what he did with Kofi was listening, right? Probably thinks like, yeah, look what happened with Kofi. You cheered for him out of nowhere. We pulled the plug on Owens and all the other things we were going to do, and we went with Kofi. How are these people still not happy? But I don't think they understand that what we don't like is literally the way the show is. We don't like the way the show is. Like, Ricochet and Aleister Black have been the most exciting things. But yet, even with that, there's still no stories. There's still nothing to enthrall you and to grab you. It's not really there. The show is subpar. Unfortunately, this is what we're left with. Anyway, guys, those are my thoughts, and I wanted to answer the patron questions, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. If you guys want to become a patron, we just hit the largest amount of patrons ever this month, blew last month away. So I want to thank you to all the people who signed up on Patreon. And if anybody's question was missed, it's because I didn't see it in time, I guess. But I think I got all the questions, unless, you asked afterwards and I missed it. Matthew Carolina, welcome back to the Patreon. $5, thanks, man. Nicholas Fields at the 10 spot. Dolphin on High is back on the 10 spot. So thank you to Dolphin on High. 27, Freddie Mitchell's back at 2. Andrew Polson, what's up, dude? We got Always Nerdy TV is still here. Matt Moon, man. Got to give it up for Scott Frame as well at the $5. But Matt Moon going to the 100 spot, man. Matt Moon, thank you so much, man, if you're listening to this. I hope you are. You're a beast, man. I really, really appreciate that. Obviously, that's a mega huge thing. $25 and above will get you a producer credit in the description box down below. The associate producer spot. I think I've almost added everybody to that. Darel Stultz, Jamie McNeil, and Matt Moon are all in that spot, as well as I want to shout out Darel. I just did, actually, Justin and Darel and Matt Moon and Gary Metzler, Mikey Tukrike, Big Bad Ads, TJ, Andrew Ryan, Arknolia Strokelbean, Gerald Armstrong, NickY J, Jabroni Jabber Podcast, Frog Kid. Oh, and by the way, guys, I'll be live with the Game of Thrones review. After Game of Thrones, we'll be live taking your calls. We'll be talking all about Game of Thrones. Leah will be here, and we'll have a good time. And then right after that, we'll just go into the gaming stream as always on Sunday nights. I always stream games, as you know. DMOON has talked to me about that. He said he wants to play PUBG, so I'm down. But yeah, Frog Kid, thank you, man. Trey Hendrickson, Ryan Pelletier, Steamy Wet Broccoli, Big Matt, Awonddy Big M, Coop the Comedian, The Bear 1322, Brokenlion, CJ Bradley, STARSCREAM. Thank you guys for all being in the $25 or above mark. And anybody who hasn't gotten a reward or something that was listed there that maybe they didn't get or haven't seen or whatever the case is or wants to ask me about, please make sure, like I said, you hound me like every day, like, hey, remember, blah, blah. And feel free to do that. Guys, thanks so much. I'll see you tonight for the Game of Thrones review and for Sunday Night Gaming. See you then. Here's some videos you guys might have missed. Share my videos, tell your friends, subscribe, whatever you can do, man, to help the channel. Appreciate it.